Good morning, it's Frugal here. As always, I have my coffee because otherwise somebody might just get killed. So let's talk today about what comes first, the customer or your product. So let's dig a little bit deeper into the difference here so that we can understand a little bit more. But before we do, we need to understand the different types of businesses that we can have. So number one, we have a big corporate. A big corporate oftentimes already have existing products, right? Now we also have a small business. They can have either existing products or they can, start and build new ones. You also have a startup. Now a startup tends to be a little bit different, and it could be a hybrid, it could be a bit of both, it could be neither. But generally what you find is that in startups, some people have a bright idea, they come up with this thing and they're like, oh my goodness, let's build it. On the other hand, you might have a group of people that come together and they sort of have the market, which is a little bit odd. It might be a small business then or a startup. But let's dig a little bit deeper into the two differences, when you're focusing more on a product or focusing more on the customer. So when you're focusing more on the product, you generally tend to have either an existing product or you are what I would call evergreen, existing product. This is what the innovator's dilemma would call sustaining innovation, is when you've got something and you're just making it a little bit nicer, a little bit more relevant. And when you're doing that, you've got the existing framework. So for something like that, it would be something like a retirement annuity where they're just adding a little bit something around that, still within the same legal framework. It's not groundbreaking, but they've got something. They might be just revamping their brand, and they might say, okay, well, how are we going to do this now? How are we going to make this better? Get it to more people, right? So because they can't make that many tweaks to something that's existing. So when you're going product first, it means that you've got the thing, now you need to find the market, right? The people that's going to buy it. But you now need to say, okay, well, this is what the product is, this is who we're targeting. So for this, generally, you would find big corporates would have a marketing department who will go and segment the market. They'll go say, this is the geography of the people that we want to find, this is the age group, this is all of the details around the person. They'll create personas around it. They'll say this is the type of person, and then they'll create advertising around that. So if you're doing the product first, you're going to find the market. Whereas obviously when you're doing a market first or the customer first, you often try and get the market and the people first and the following before you have the product. So the problem is, if you've got a product first, is finding a product market fit is very difficult if you've got the product first. Because now what you need to do is you need to try and figure out who is the people that's going to buy this thing. Now let's move on to a market first or a customer first approach, or a people first. So if you can find the people that you want to connect with, whether it's you want to connect people that's into yoga, whether it's people that's into personal finance, or whether it's people that's, loves coffee. Ooh, did somebody say coffee? Absolutely. So here is the thing then. What you can do then is you can say, I've found the people. What is it that they need? What is the product that they need? What is the thing that you can sell to them or that is short in their life? I heard a really, really cool advertising campaign from a company in the US. I think the company's called Shotgun Coffee. And what they basically did is they targeted people that believe that their rights to, for gun ownership is, what's going to sell their coffee. So if you like your coffee strong, just like you are, then Shotgun Coffee is going to be the coffee brand for you. So starting with the market and then actually going and working your way to the product can actually help you, because then you're not going to sit and be like, is this going to work or is this not? Because you've built the connections with your market. You've built the connection with followers, with friends, with people that are actually going to want to buy it, and you know them. That's what's cool about the the content creation and the influencer community, is that they've built the people. They know their following, they know their customers, they know the people that love what they love. And as soon as you can, share that piece of knowledge with them. What it basically does, well, you can then say, here you go. I know that you're going to like this because I know you guys. And oftentimes, you oftentimes know them by name. I mean, for startups, sometimes it's good to start with the people first. Because if you start with the people first, you know firsthand, then there's big words that come to mind. Things like customer insights, right? You understand the knowledge of your customer, the customer experience, and the user experience. You have firsthand knowledge of how the customer works and how these people are. I'd like to give you a small example here, because I feel that it'll be valuable. Wrigley, which we know today as the chewing gum company, started in the 1800s as a company that sold soap. So Wrigley himself, William Wrigley Jr., in the 1860s, basically went and started a soap company, and as a value-added product to get the people to buy the soap, he gave them chewing gum. Now, what's interesting about this is that people actually bought the soap because of the chewing gum. And he listened to his customers and decided to drop the soap and start just a chewing gum business. We know that chewing gum brand Wrigleys is currently owned by Mars Incorporated, which bought it for a small fortune. Now, if we can then go and say, listen, as a company, listen to our customers first, and then build the product around them, we know that it'll succeed, because we know the relationship with our customers is so strong, we know them so well that it can work. But what now about a product-first approach? Well, you're going to have to do some mass media marketing, right? And you're going to have to spend a lot of money, like lots of money, to get buy-in. Is it possible to make money through product first? Yes. Is it possible to make no money? Absolutely. Is it possible to make lots of money with a customer first approach? Absolutely. Is it possible to make no money? Well, yes, but if you actually put your customer first, you'll know what they want. Now that you know a little bit more about customer first or product first, have a wonderful day. Enjoy your business. Happy investing.